Truth podcast, coming at you from somewhere at some time in some place. I am Joe, and joining me every week, as always, in our undisclosed location is the Luigi to my Mario, George.
Hello, Joe. How you doing? I want to wish you National Awkward Moments Day. Speaking of awkward moments, I simply want to say, back in the day when we used to live together, I one time saw your dick. I must say, not too shabby.
I don't believe you ever saw. When did you see that?
Don't you worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I wasn't awake.
Maybe.
All right, we need
There we go. We had our awkward moment. All right.
little housekeeping at the top of the show. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like our podcast. Do a review at wherever you consume your podcast, whether it be iTunes from the piece of shit Apple company or any of the many Google services.
Now, don't offend Apple fans. You just can't attack Apple. It's like, I'm not a fan of Apple myself, but you just can't go off and call them a piece of shit.
I'm not attacking
the
fans.
Geniuses.
I'm not attacking the fans. I'm attacking the company. Apple is a terrible company. They make fine products. Some of them are bad.
They're more of an advertisement company than anything.
That is true. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find links to our YouTube channel where we're posting just the podcast in a video form, but there's no actual video. It's going to be just a static image. You can find links to that at theallegedtruth.com. And any comments, questions, concerns, or if you want to just make fun of us, you can email us at allegedtruthpodcast.
Please make fun of us.
Please.
We desire you to make fun of us. It's almost like a masochistic need.
At allegedtruthpodcast@gmail.com.
Tell us how bad we are, please. We know we're rubbish.
We're going to kick things off with just two movie reviews. Both of these are going to be separate opinions because I saw one movie, you saw another movie. We both did not see the other.
Yes.
We'll start with Captain Marvel. I went and saw Captain Marvel, and we skipped last week. We would have talked about this last week, but some scheduling conflicts. So
right
late,
off,
but whatever.
Right off the bat, let's just say, spoiler alert coming up.
Yeah. Most likely, whenever we talk about a movie, a TV show, or anything, probably going to have spoilers.
We go in depth and we talk about everything. If you haven't seen the movie, skip ahead.
I wouldn't say that we're going to go in depth, so to speak, only because that would be like an hour podcast just talking about this one thing. I mean, I'm going to talk about it and I might spoil things. I went and saw Captain Marvel, and it was a mediocre movie, is my opinion on it. It's a mediocre Marvel movie, but I wouldn't call it bad. Mm-hmm. It's definitely middle of the road Marvel movies. Better than Black Panther.
Would you say it was better than Ant-Man?
Maybe Ant-Man 2.
See, I really like Ant-Man 1 and 2. I really do.
I liked the first one more than 2 just because of what it was fresh. Mm. But I thought it was better than 2. It's definitely better than all the Thors with the exception of Ragnarok, just because that movie is awesome. That's one of the best of the Marvel
there's
movies.
A reason that it's awesome, and we'll talk about that here in a moment.
It's definitely better than Thor 1 and 2. It's better than Iron Man 2 and 3. It's better than Black Panther.
It's not hard to beat Iron Man 3.
It's better than Age of Ultron. But it's no Civil War. It's no Endgame. Well, we haven't seen Endgame. It's no...
We're going to assume.
Yeah, it's no Infinity War. It's no
Winter Soldier.
No Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. No Iron Man 1. But it's middle of the road Marvel movie. Not good, not great. Brie Larson is totally forgettable in the role. You could have literally cast any actress instead of her, and it wouldn't have been any worse. You definitely could have got someone better, I think, for the role. I don't know anybody off the top of my head who
someone who wouldn't have caused any type of controversy. That might have been a bonus.
That was also part of the problem, is leading up to the movie, all the controversy surrounding her comments and how Rotten Tomatoes completely changed their website just to placate to Disney.
Well, just not to placate Disney, but in a way they kind of had a point because of all the trolls who hadn't seen the movie giving it bad reviews simply because of who was starring in it.
Yes.
That pisses me off. It's like, just see the movie first. See the movie, make your judgment then.
I mean, it's a form of boycott or a form of voicing, I guess, an opinion. It got headlines, and then they reacted.
But it's like, what do you get out of it? You sit around, you make a bad review, be like, and you you gonna sit back in your chair after that review? Showed you. Nobody gives a fuck, dude. No one cares about your reviews. No one reads them. If I see a whole bunch of 1-star reviews and a whole bunch of 5-star reviews, I'm gonna check them both out real quick and be like, you know what? I'm gonna make up my own goddamn mind.
But even in the critic reviews, if you look at it, Rotten Tomatoes definitely manipulated the critic scores too.
What? Come on.
Because when you look at the critic scores, you can have it's a fresh or a rotten.
Yeah.
Next to it, and that determines the overall percentage, whether it's going to hit. I believe 60% is fresh, and the way they manipulate it is some sites that do the star reviews instead of like this is a 6 out of 10 movie.
Yeah.
It's like a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star movie. People would give it like a 2.5 stars. Which, if you do the math, that would be like a 5 out of 10, so it would be rotten. Mm-hmm. They were getting freshes, and even if you read the review or you read the headline that goes with the review, it's a completely negative opinion, but it's still got a fresh. So they were manipulating the tomato meter to give it more of a positive spin. Overall, I do think people blew it way out of proportion. The movie was good. Unnecessary, but good. Just because it was a prequel, and it didn't need to happen. But it did introduce you to her character, who is a brand new character that's going to play a huge part in Endgame, just because she's most likely going to defeat Thanos.
Or play a part in it, major part in it.
Hopefully it's her playing a part in defeating Thanos and not just her being the only thing that can stop Thanos.
Yeah.
Yes, she's super powerful, but is she more powerful than every Avenger combined? Because every Avenger couldn't take on Thanos.
Thor could.
No.
After he got his hammer.
At the end of the movie, all the Avengers together couldn't beat Thanos. That's what I'm saying. But I guess where you were saying spoilers, people are making a big deal about the Skrulls in this movie are the good guys.
That's what you told me. Yeah.
If you know anything from the comic books, the Skrulls have always been evil. And I don't really have a problem with the twist of, they're good, only because it leaves them room to
It takes place in the 80s, or 90s. It takes place in the 90s, which leaves them plenty of time to go evil.
It does. And also, this is just one small group of Skrulls, so you don't know what the bigger agenda of the rest of the Skrulls are going to be.
Yeah.
There could be evil Skrulls. And there was also the whole MacGuffin of the movie is ultimately pointless. The whole point of the movie is it centers around the Tesseract, and the Skrulls are trying to use the Tesseract to create a lightspeed engine to get away from the Kree. They're on the run from the Kree. But they show in the movie, much like they showed in Guardians, that they have the ability to manipulate, I guess, wormholes, because they travel through...
Well, that's what the Tesseract does.
But not just... I understand that, but they already have the technology to travel through wormholes.
Okay.
Because just like in Guardians, where ships just pop into atmosphere, like they travel from planet to planet and boom, they pop into an atmosphere, they're traveling through some sort of...
Gate. Something.
Yeah, something. So what the hell do you need the Tesseract to create a lightspeed engine to do this? You already have the technology to do this. And they already arrive at Earth through one of these holes.
I think what it was like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where rockets, jump through like 100 of those things at one time. It's very dangerous to do.
I guess if they don't explain it that way, that maybe it's a way to travel
very long
distances.
It's just not quick jumps. It's an actual one end of the galaxy to the other type of thing.
Hopefully that's what... But they don't... maybe that's a scene that's missing, and it didn't really fit in the edit. I don't know.
How was the post-credit scenes? Were they important?
There were two. One, it's a clip straight from... Obviously, they took it straight from Endgame.
Yeah.
And it's they're standing around the pager, and the pager stops working, and Cap is like, what's going on? We need to fire this thing up. Fury thought it was important, so obviously this thing is important. and they're arguing like, oh, we don't even know what's on the other end of it. And then just out of nowhere, she's just behind him, like she teleports into the room or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, her line is, "Where's Fury?" And then it
Well,
cuts.
what I don't understand is how do they know it was Fury's?
I guess it was by his pile of ashes, and he had the only brown ashes on the street.
Dude, that's wrong. That's wrong because we're all ash in the middle. We're all the same color ash.
I mean, they
inside.
knew where he was because he died outside of his shield, vehicle. So
Yeah.
they would know where his vehicle was. So they're just assuming, I guess, it was his, or maybe they just knew he had that pager. Because they also came out and said, Kevin Feige said that just because the first time you saw him use the pager was at the end of Infinity War doesn't mean that's the only time he's ever used it.
Yeah.
It's just the only time we've seen him use it. So some of the other Avengers might know about the pager.
Maybe, but I think it's just kind of convenient that they know about the pager. It's like, this is Nick Fury's pager. Well, how the fuck do you know?
Then there was a post-credit scene with, which was pretty good, with the cat Goose. At some point during the movie, Goose eats the Tesseract, and because he's a Flurkin, he's not a cat.
Okay.
Like he has like a tentacle monster inside him,
Okay.
and like these giant tentacles come out, and he just wrecks shit. And there's actually a very funny scene where the main Skrull is actually afraid of it. And Nick Fury's like, "Why are you? It's just a cat. Like, why?" He's like, "It's not a cat. It's a Flurkin." And he just doesn't understand. And then later, some of the Kree are scanning. They have like this little scanner, and they scan the cat, and they go, "Flurkin, threat level 9." And then they scan Fury, and it's like, "Human, threat level 0," or whatever. And Fury's like, "I think that thing's broken."
Kind of like Earth. Don't panic.
Right.
Yeah.
And but at the end, post credits, he vomits the cube up. Overall, though, this is going long. Overall, it was fine. It was a fine movie.
All right. Good.
How was Lego Movie?
Not as good as part 1, but still highly enjoyable.
That's all you got to say about it.
It had a lot of good jokes, a lot of funny moments. It introduced a lot of other Lego things like Lego Friends, Lego Junior. It's I don't want to really give anything away because it's just a good movie. Not as good as part 1, but still good. This one revolved more around the kids' relationship. Will Ferrell never even makes an appearance. His voice is in it, but he doesn't show up.
Okay. Is there live action stuff in it?
There is. It revolves a lot around the live action relationship between the brother and the sister, and the whole story has a huge twist at the end that you really don't see coming, which is nice. It's like there's actually 2 twists at the end.
Did M. Night Shyamalan direct this?
Maybe. What a twist! But it's a really good movie, and I highly recommend. I don't know if you want to go see it theaters to see it, but you should at least watch it one time.
I mean, at this point, I'm probably not going to see it in a theater. I'll catch it on a Redbox or something.
Yeah. I mean, catch it up. It's really it's a funny film. Like I said, not as good as the first, but a lot of good fresh stuff in it.
And that brings us out of our movie reviews, and then we're going to still talk a little bit about Marvel stuff. And as you hinted earlier, Disney made a decision to reinstate James Gunn to direct Guardians 3.
Well, I kind of knew this might be coming after they said they're going to use his script. And let's not forget that everything that Marvel's doing in outer space revolves around James Gunn's vision for it. He was actually going to be placed in charge of it because he single-handedly made a unknown group of heroes in the Marvel Universe that no one really gave a fuck about into something everyone loves.
Yeah, the Guardians movies, I mean, I don't like 2 as much as 1, but they're both really good.
Yep, and the
first one is top 5 Marvel
and let's
movie.
not forget that if it wasn't for the Guardians of the Galaxy movie and James Gunn's vision for space, Thor Ragnarok would have sucked. Because Thor Ragnarok stole so much from the Guardians, it made it good.
And that's one of the problems I think Captain Marvel has, is it doesn't have that same vision.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the space stuff, there is some stuff in the beginning. Holy shit. When I was watching Captain Marvel, the trailers for that movie, they're garbage. Like, the marketing in Captain Marvel is some of the worst thing ever. And I went into that movie thinking, I am going to completely hate this movie. The first 10 minutes of the movie, it's like a lot of Blade Runner vibes, and you're getting a lot of cool imagery. And the space stuff is really cool. And then when she's in this, like, team of people, it has a very Halo like Reach feel, with like all the Spartans in their armor, and they're gearing up to go like kick some ass. And like I was like, where the fuck was this shit in the why didn't you put this in the marketing for it? I would have saw that movie in an without hesitation.
Yeah.
But it was missing a lot of the vibes, especially the soundtrack. The way James Gunn uses a soundtrack in the movie is genius. The way Captain Marvel used a soundtrack in the movie was dog shit.
It's kind of like Edgar Wright when he uses music, for example, Baby Driver. Mm-hmm. The music in that was phenomenal, and how he used the music in Baby Driver, it's phenomenal. James Gunn has the same touch, and I think the reason they brought James Gunn back was because they saw what happened with Captain Marvel.
That is probably part of the reasoning, and also what they did say was they were like, oh, we realized he apologized. What he did was years ago, and he hasn't really done anything like that since.
Considering they jumped the gun, no pun intended there, on this to begin with, was the fact that they fired him for tweets about 10 years ago. The same tweets he apologized for like 5 or 8 years ago. He had already apologized for the tweets, understanding that he was wrong. So he got punished again for something he had already acknowledged he shouldn't have done, which was complete and utter bullshit. This was them jumping. It's like, oh shit, we got to do something now. It's like, how about you just calm the fuck down? How about that? Relax. At this point, everybody just needs to calm the fuck down. We're all on the edge of our seat thinking something's going to fucking blow up. Calm down.
I am so glad, though, that he is coming back for it, and I am looking forward to him doing Suicide Squad. So that's hopefully this doesn't interfere with that.
I think that was genius of DC. The moment Disney fired, it's like, I bet you anything DC is going to come swoop in, be like, hey, save us from ourselves.
I can't wait to see what he does with him, because he is a great action director, and that transition's great into this article I want to talk to you about real quick. This is going to be a quick segment, only because it's going to end with what the fuck. I just came across this article because me and my wife were talking about women film directors, and we had this fucking argument about how
feminism,
she thinks that women just don't get the opportunity to do like a lot of these types of movies. And I was like, it's not that they don't get the opportunity; they don't go out to make these movies.
Well, what about Punisher or Warzone?
Yeah. But, like, my argument is, like, women just typically don't make these movies, like, because the audience isn't women for these movies.
Not really their style.
And it's like men aren't going out to campaign to do chick flicks. And she was like, well, if those won Oscars, you don't think men would be going out to do them? It's like, that's not the point.
Men do make chick flicks.
Because action movies don't win Oscars either.
No.
But the audience is primarily men. That's why men are gravitate towards directing them more often.
Like, for example, let's take Die Hard. Do you think a woman would be more attracted to Die Hard than a man?
You mean to go see it?
Yeah.
Right. It's a total, that's the type of movie men go see.
Exactly.
But 10 Things I Hate About You is a movie women are going to go see.
And men go see it simply because they want to get into the woman's pants.
Right.
Pretty much that.
But this article, it's 7 films. It's a Film Inquiry recommends 7 action films directed by a woman.
Oh, I got to hear these.
Number 1.
No. You got to work your way up to 1.
No, well, it's just 1. It's not in any particular order.
Oh, well, that's a down.
I'm just saying the first one on here. No, we're working to The Gold Mine at the end. But number 1 on the list was Blue Steel by Catherine Bigelow.
That's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Correct.
Not a bad movie.
And she is a great director. I mean, Point Break is an amazing film. She won Best Director and Best Picture.
I remember watching that movie when I was little. My mom found out, she was quite upset. This was when I was just a budding lad, new into puberty. And the scene with Jamie Lee Curtis where the guy was filling her up, it did a lot for me. I appreciated that movie a lot.
But I mean, she is a great filmmaker. She's won, Best Picture. She won Best Director. I think she's the first female to win Best Director, maybe Best Picture. I don't know if another woman has won it before her, but she's a great filmmaker. She makes really good movies.
Yes,
I
agree
stand
with
by
this.
that pick. That's a good pick.
I agree with that.
Number 2 on this list, Punisher Warzone
No,
from Lexi Alexander.
no, that movie's fucking horrible.
That movie is really bad.
It is so bad. The only good thing about that, Ray Stevenson. That's the only good thing about that movie. He nails the Punisher.
His acting is great.
It's like they took the Punisher and put him into Batman Forever.
Oh, God, not Batman Forever. Batman and Robin. It was that level of camp.
Yes.
Batman Forever was camp, but I still enjoy that movie.
I can't. I
Batman and Robin.
No.
Batman Forever, I can still enjoy that movie. But holy shit, is that movie so bad?
It's so. Ray Stevenson is the only shining light in that entire fuckfest.
Number 3 on this list is The Hitchhiker from Ida Lupino. It's from 1953. I've never heard of this movie. I have no comment
They
on
made
it.
a remake of it in the either early aughts or late 90s. And the remake was actually pretty damn good. I never saw the original, but I've heard of it.
Number 4 on this is another really bad movie from Rachel Talalay, Tank Girl.
That movie sucks so bad.
It is one of the worst comic book movies ever made.
It's so stupid.
It's really bad. It's maybe not as bad as Catwoman, but it's that level of bad.
I can't say that because I've never saw Catwoman. I didn't want that in my head. And
you're not missing.
No, I know I'm not. That's why I never watched Kill Bill Volume 2. I don't want that garbage in my head.
Yeah, I don't like Volume 2. Volume 1 has really good action scenes. I like the action scenes.
Volume 1 was horrible to me. I couldn't stand it either.
You don't like the obviously racist part where just because she is...
because she was Asian,
they did an anime cutscene?
Oh, no, that's fine. That's Hollywood being Hollywood.
Yeah, Tarantino can get away with racism.
I want to ask you a question. When you came pulling in here, did you notice a sign out in the front of my house that said Dead Nigger Storage?
Jimmy, you know I ain't seen no shit.
Did you notice a sign in the front of my house that said Dead Nigger Storage?
No, I didn't.
You know why you didn't see that sign?
Why?
Because it ain't there, because storing dead niggers ain't my fucking business, that's why.
Number 5 on this list, Hideout in the Sun by Doris Wishman. I don't know anything about this movie.
Never heard of it.
It's from 1960. So we'll skip over that. I'm going to skip over number 6 because that's the one we're coming to. That's the climax. They should have put that as the last one on this list. Number 7 on this list, Eyewitness from Merle Box in 1956. Don't know anything about it.
I like how they're going back to the 50s and 60s for these action movies that women did.
Right.
Is there nothing newer?
My personal favorite action movie that they have on this list is actually one of my top 3 films of all time, top 5 films of all time. It's in one of my top of all time. I know you like the movie and you hold it in high regards. You also see a lot of flaws with the movie. Can you name this?
You gotta give me more of a hint, man.
It's directed by 2 amazing women. Probably the most groundbreaking piece of cinema that came out of the 90s.
Bud Air?
It completely changed filmmaking.
Completely changed filmmaking.
And everything that you ever thought about combining Eastern and Western film and combining special effects with live action and sci-fi and amazing stories. Well, not amazing stories. I guess it borrowed from a lot of anime and made it its own thing.
I'm completely stumped now. I'm completely stumped.
The Matrix. Directed by 2 women.
No, wrong. Wrong.
Lily and Lana Wachowski.
No, wrong. Wrong. I'm going to start dead naming here in a moment, buddy. No, wrong.
How do you put this on the list
Those
of 7 movies?
First off, when the Wachowski brothers at the time directed that film, they both had dicks and they both identified as men. I don't give a fuck what they identify now. I don't care. If it's better for them, fine, whatever. I still think they need to get psychiatric help. But if they feel better for themselves now, fine, whatever. But when they made The Matrix, they were not women. AKA women.
They're still not women now.
No. DNA, genetically, no. They look like women, I guess. I don't know.
No. Have you seen the Fat Brother?
No.
He is literally a fat dude in a dress and a wig.
Okay, then he's not a woman.
He's not even trying. I guess he's a cross-dresser. That's the closest you could say. He's not. I would not consider him trans. At least the other one is like making an attempt.
That's like when they say that Caitlyn Jenner won the Olympics. No, Caitlyn Jenner did not win the Olympics. Bruce Jenner won the fucking Olympics because that was his name. Bruce Jenner won the Olympics. On the medals, it says Bruce Jenner, not Caitlyn Jenner. If she wants to be called Caitlyn Jenner now, fine. I'm not going to argue. I don't care. Let it be known she could be Caitlyn Jenner. I'll call her Caitlyn. But when you tell me that, Caitlyn Jenner won, no, Caitlyn Jenner did not win those.
So a woman did not direct
The
Matrix?
No. A woman did not direct. 2 women did not direct. There were 2 men who directed the fucking Matrix. It's that simple. And the whole idea that this list is complete and utter bullshit. Bullshit. This, not only that, but it takes away from the actual women who achieved good action movies. I mean, it's like when they let men who are transitioning compete in sports against women and they keep winning. No fucking duh.
Oh, so
they're going to win.
So when your daughter... Maybe she does. I don't know if she's going to actually try out for sports. But when your daughter wants to play sports and there's a boy with long hair
and a
wants
dress
to compete,
no,
you're okay. You're going to be okay with it, right?
No, fuck no. I'm not going to be okay with it because it's unfair.
But there's no difference between men.
Oh, there's a huge fucking difference. Huge fucking difference. Anybody who says there is no difference between a man and a woman, they are completely denying science. So don't come at me saying, "Oh, you don't recognize global climate change. You're a science denier." I'm denying science. I understand the difference between a man and a woman. That's science. I understand that a child in a womb is still a fucking child. That's fucking science. Don't come at me and saying I'm a science fucking denier when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Guess what? There's only 2 genders. Everything else is a mental disorder that need help. That's how it goes.
And with that, we're going to insert an ad break. And we will see you on the other side.
Are you middle class, white, and smart, but have no street cred? Are you looking for that special someone to pick off your parents? Is your neighbor's dog constantly shitting on your lawn and your neighbor refuses to clean it up? And even when you tell him over and over and over again, Bill is such a dick, he refuses to clean up his own dog shit. So, for the 4th time this week, when getting the morning paper, you stepped in a steaming pile of canine feces. And, of course, you didn't have any slippers on because it was a nice day and you thought, hey, I'll just go out barefoot. Plus, they still had dog shit on them from yesterday, so the new dog shit ended up squished between your fucking toes. Have you ever had fucking dog shit between your fucking toes? It's fucking disgusting. God fucking damn it, Bill. Clean up your goddamn motherfucking dog shit. This is why I reached out to 247EastEnders.com in order to fucking drive by on your ass, Bill. At 247eastenders.com, you can order your very own gang member or a whole crew to bump up some much needed street cred, to show your dad you don't care what he thinks, or to get revenge on that disrespectful neighbor. That's right, Bill. Look out on May 4th. You better fucking duck, you piece of fuck shit. That's 247eastenders.com. Put a ledge of truth in the promo bar and get a free 40 ounce on your next order.
And we're back with more gender.
Oh, here we
related
go.
stories
Here we go. Woo! I'm getting warmed up now.
We're going to kick it off with Deborah Messing and some hot water that she got in, I guess. Brought it on herself. For people who don't know who Deborah Messing is, I don't blame you.
Will and Grace.
Yeah, I don't blame you. She's from Will and Grace. It's a terrible show.
She's the redhead in Will and Grace.
It was a terrible show. It went off the air, and then they brought it back. And
because
it's still
TV
terrible.
can't do anything original anymore. They have to copy everything else.
But she tweeted something that got some flack on International Women's Day. She shared a picture of some cupcakes.
You know what the real tragedy of International Women's Day truly is?
What was that?
A lot of men went without sandwiches.
That's a terrible joke.
No, yeah, this woman, while she was trying to be supportive, and it's nothing wrong with being supportive about this, and she wanted to push the agenda, whatever, she decided to go out and make cupcakes.
She didn't make them. She just found this picture.
Oh, she found the picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, she found a picture of these cupcakes, and she thought, this is good. Because it was cupcakes, and the frosting on the top looked like pussy lips.
Looked vaginas.
And they're different colors, because different color frosting, and the different shapes, and she was trying to say that all women are beautiful, no matter your shape and size or whatever. It's, you know,
no,
you're all women, you're all beautiful.
I have to disagree. It's like men. Not all men are handsome. No, it doesn't work that way.
Not all pussies are...
No. Some pussy look good. Some pussy look like they threw up on themselves.
But she was trying to say that, you know, you're all, you know... She was trying to be light and, quote-unquote, light and sassy. That was what the photo was supposed to be, light and sassy. And somebody had called her out and said, well, not all women have vaginas.
Yes, they do.
You got to be inclusive.
No, guess what? If you do not have a vagina, you are not a woman. It's that simple. If you have a penis, you are not a woman. That's not how science works. That's not science. If you have a penis and you think you're a woman, then you need mental help. You need psychiatric help. I mean, for instance, the guy who first became the first non-binary individual through the court system, and he was a hero to the LGBTQXYZ, the quilt bag movement. He came out and said, I am now a man, and everything that happened before was because I had post-traumatic stress syndrome. I just got through the military. I got through a war, and I was messed up, and what I needed was help. But everybody pushed him to do this. Everybody was pushing him to push their agenda. We need to stop this whole acceptance. We have to understand that a lot of these individuals need help. Not help in the fact is, hey, you're only 6 or 7, and we're going to start you on a hormone treatment. No. If that happens, you need to be that child needs to be taken away from you because you are a bad parent.
Yeah, there's people who actually believe that if your 3-year-old comes up to you and says, Daddy, I feel like a woman, that you should say, okay, son, we're going to call you Brenda, and we're going to start putting you in dresses, and we're going to, you know, treat you like a girl, and then we're going to get some hormones in you, and then you're going to be a girl. No, you should be like, son, you're a boy. When you get a little bit older, You know, and if you want to come back to this thought when you actually can form a fucking thought, we'll come back to that. Right now, you're 3, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're a boy. Here's a truck. Here's some G.I. Joes. Go in the fucking corner and play.
Now understand, this is not directed toward gays or lesbians. This is not like that. This is people who think that identify as a fucking dragon breed or some other bullshit thing. All right? That is who needs psychiatric help.
And if you're a full-grown adult, you're 18, and you want to transition, more power to you. Go the fuck ahead. You're an American citizen. If you're an American citizen, you have the right to do that.
Just understand that the suicide rate for transitioned individuals jump. It goes up higher than what they were before they transitioned.
More importantly, you need to understand, just because you claim you're something, I don't have to agree. I don't have to call you ma'am.
I mean, you're not going to go out there and just be an asshole.
No.
But if a dude comes up to you that looks like a dude, and you call him sir, and I'm a ma'am, like, first off, how the fuck was I supposed to know that? Because you look like a dude. You sound like a dude. You walk like a dude. Everything about you tells me, dude, you're wearing a skirt. I don't know, are you Scottish? The thing is, if you're an adult and you don't feel like what you are, first off, I truly believe you should seek psychiatric help. It's that simple. Not because because there's something wrong with you, because that's not how shit works. But if that doesn't work and you still feel that way, then do what you need to do to make yourself happy. But don't just jump straight to cutting shit up. Don't do stuff that's irreversible.
Or you mean cutting shit off?
We need to stop being accepting of everything and understanding that there are people who need psychiatric help to get through shit that it's called, what was it, sexual dysphoria or sexual dysphoria?
Gender dysphoria.
There, gender dysphoria. We got to start understanding that this is more than just I feel like a man or I feel like a woman in me. There's something wrong within you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying something is chemically imbalanced, or you had some sort of traumatic experience that completely fucked your shit up. It's not your fault.
No, I mean, it's simply science. And even deodorant commercials understand. It's strong enough for a man, but it's pH balanced for a woman.
Agreed. No matter what, though, I still love the fact that I still love it when the left eats itself.
Next story here, we're going to transition another left eating their own from Melissa Milano on National Women's Day. This is another trend here. She was slammed for calling herself trans, an immigrant, a person of color, disabled, a lesbian, a gay man.
I know what she was trying to do. She was trying to simply say that we're all together in this.
Right, we're all one people. Yada 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 yada. Someone called her on Twitter, and she was like, her response was, "I'm trans. I'm a person of color. I'm an immigrant. I'm a lesbian. I'm a gay man. I'm disabled. I'm everything, and so are you. Don't be afraid of what you don't know or understand. No one wants to hurt you. We are all just looking for our happily ever after."
And she was responding to a man named Kirk Brown who asked her, "Alyssa, are you transgender?" Well, I can tell you right now, if you watched her past movies, especially Kiss of the Vampire, you can tell that she is definitely not transgender.
And the thing we love about this is she is clearly a leftist. She's clearly subscribes to the fucking ideology of inclusivity and safe spaces and trans this and everybody's everything, and if you want to live by Sharia law, well, it's your fucking right to do that, even though it's completely awful.
Sharia. If you're a feminist and you support Sharia law, then I truly don't think you understand what Sharia law is.
But it's people like her that like, oh yeah, they should just live their life. We can't persecute these Muslim people for just just being Muslim, we can't demonize them, or we can't demonize trans people. They're just trans, you know, and we need to call them by their 3,700 genders or whatever. And when she said this, that's her point she was making. We're all inclusive. We're all this. And
which I understand.
people said, you are not these things. You are simply an advocate, and you need to find your place.
See, this is the point. People, especially people on the left and extreme left nowadays, they don't understand hyperbole. Mm-hmm. She wasn't saying she was all this. She was saying that we are together in this. It's like I am with you.
She was simply saying we're all humans.
Yes. And of course, "Oh no, you're not" had to come up.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, yo, 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 oh no, you didn't.
It's just bullshit. It's bullshit. It's like, I want to feel bad for her, but it's hard for me to. Simply because of the shit she used to say. And the shit. And it's like when she was with the, what was the organization was it the Me Too movement? It's completely blew up now.
I mean, the Me Too movement has definitely gone away in a way. I mean, it's obviously, it's still here, but I mean, people don't talk about it because it was the actresses that I also got raped, movement, essentially.
Again, this is Hollywood.
The bandwagon movement it turned into. When Terry Crews got involved, I think it jumped the shark. I mean, yes, you were at a party and a male director, I think it was a male director.
It was.
Walked up and fondled his nuts. You're Terry fucking Crews. Grow a pair. It's a little different when scumbag Harvey Weinstein, who can make or break your acting career, is raping you in his office.
Or trying to
rape you in his office. Or at
least hiding in the bushes, jacking it while watching you walk around. Yeah.
Or you, Terry Crews, 6'5", 220 pounds, solid muscle, gets a little finger.
But was this little ball tickle? Did it happen early in his career? Because if it happened early in his career, I can see where he would feel kind of trapped. It's like he wants to get in on this. So
he was there with his wife, so
yeah.
I'm assuming it was later in his career. I don't know when he got married, but most marriages in Hollywood don't last. So if it's his current wife, I mean, it could potentially have. Yeah. He could have potentially been married for 30 years. I don't know, but either way, grow a fucking pair. I mean,
well, it's like I personally don't know Terry Crews. It's like
I like Terry Crews.
I love Terry Crews, but I don't know what he's like in reality. He's a big action star, but is he like that in real life?
No, I mean, he's a funny man too.
Yeah.
And so
he could be a real gentle soul. He really didn't know how to take that.
I guess. But don't try to claim you got fucking raped.
No, I don't think he would have. It's like, we got to start understanding rape means forced sexual intercourse. I mean, not just a little ball tickle.
But and also there is a difference between attempted rape, because just because someone didn't actually complete the act of raping you doesn't mean you weren't traumatized from an attempted rape. Also, there's a difference between attempted rape and a little nut tap.
There's a difference between patting someone on the butt and rape or child molestation, right? Both of those behaviors need to be confronted and eradicated. Without question, but they shouldn't be conflated.
I want to feel bad for Alyssa Milano, but it's really hard to.
I mean, the left love to eat their own. I mean, they do it to themselves, just like another story from everybody's favorite terrible author, J.K. Rowling. And I don't care what people say. There's lots of Harry Potter fans out there. I know they're out there.
You're married to one.
Like, I know they're out there, and people think these are good books. They're not good books. They're not good movies. They're not good stories. They're very derivative.
It depends on your view of them. For example, are they good books?
They're good for children.
Are they good books compared to, say, Tolkien? Not as good, no. But are they good books compared to Twilight? They're astounding books.
Right. I mean, yes, they are good books for children to read. They're children's books. Pre-teen, teenage, I mean, once you hit 14, I think if you're still reading after that or whatever, I guess if you're pot committed at that point, but they're not good books. And
to be honest, I'd rather have my son or daughter big into Harry Potter than, say, My Little Pony.
True.
You have to have standards.
And I will say that the movies are far worse than the books. I mean, yes, a lot of people always say, well, the book's better than the movie. The movies are really bad. I mean, they don't really get good until, the fourth one when they introduced the time travel thing?
I've actually seen all of them.
Yeah.
And I've actually lost track of the different ones because it's been so long since I've seen them. I remember the time traveling little device, and
which they only use in the one movie and never use again, even though it's fucking awesome. Like, why aren't you using this more?
It was actually funny in the series how it should have ended on YouTube. They actually had Snape use that thing, and he kept there twisting, counting down, and then he traveled back in time, and then promptly shot Voldemort in the head when he was young. It's like, problem solved. It's like, why didn't you travel back in time and save Dumbledore? How many years you could have sat there and round that thing up for 400 times?
Yeah, whenever you introduce a time travel element, it always breaks everything. Unless you limit what your time travel can be. Like, you can only travel a week, or you can only travel, small amounts of time. Then I guess you can work around that. And I think they actually did time travel pretty decent in that movie compared to most time travel stories.
But the device itself, you can break the movies with that little device. It's that simple.
But we're not.
What also pisses me off about Harry Potter is they take place in today's world. It doesn't take place. My wife actually thought that they traveled back in time when they went into the train, and the reason they used quills and inkwells is because they didn't have pens. It's like, no, pens exist. iPhones exist. Computers exist. Yeah. This is why I would like to see a modern, a one that takes place in modern America, because you would have like the book, you would have the entire wizard books on a tablet.
Yeah, like they have these newspapers or whatever with moving pictures. Yeah, we have those. They're called tablets and cell phones.
Well, I want a pen. If I was in Hogwarts, I wouldn't want a fucking feather and an inkwell. Give me a goddamn mechanical pen. You're there. I don't have to keep dipping the shit. It's like in the movies, there's a whole department. Ron Weasley's father was obsessed with the Muggle world. It's like, it's not hard. You live in it.
Well, they don't live in the Muggle world.
Well, where do they live? In pocket dimensions?
Well, isn't that how the fucking train doesn't?
Don't know how the train
travels
works.
through.
I don't know
something
how it works.
Into the other world.
Travel through a brick wall, and it's like suddenly you're in a different platform. Where's this platform at?
It's beyond the veil.
What's the veil? How does the train leave the veil and get into the real world? Is Hogwarts even in the real world? Do they travel back in time? I don't fucking know. It never explains.
Because it's poor writing. That's the whole point of this story, though, is how bad of a writer she is.
She came out a long time ago saying Dumbledore's gay, even though there is absolutely zero evidence of it in the books.
Right. There's no evidence in the books. There's no evidence in the movies that he's gay. Okay, it's backstory. They threw that in there. Whatever.
Don't care.
Now she's got this new spin-off series, the
Fantastic
Beasts series. And the new one, Grindelwald, is also gay, apparently, and Dumbledore's lover, even though it's not in the movie. Nowhere is it mentioned in the movie. And I actually had this argument with my wife where she was talking about, well, she came out a long time ago and said that they were gay lovers. So why is this such a big deal, like this already said? And I looked up some quotes. No, she didn't. She said that Dumbledore had feelings for him, but she never said that the feelings were the other way.
It's like when people try to say Hermione's actually black. In the book, she's white. She says, in the book, she's white. I don't give a fuck if Hermione's black or not. I really don't care. Doesn't affect me at all. Make her black. Whatever.
No, it's her constantly changing her, fiction to, one, impose her extreme left ideology. Like, she is extreme left. But also to impose her stupid views of everything's got to be inclusive and everything's got to be this, and we have to have, all these, we have to have, every character has to be gay, or every character has to be black, or every character has to be this or that. Well, why didn't you fucking write it that way to begin with?
If you want to make Dumbledore gay, fine. Make him gay. Put it in the books. Don't come back, oh, by the way, it's not in the books, but he's actually gay. Well, okay, where's the evidence?
And why is it important that you come out after the fact and say this if it's not important enough to actually write it in the book?
No, because she wants to be inclusive.
And I guarantee you, in the next movie, I don't know, is Grindelwald still? I didn't see the.
I never saw it either.
If he's still alive and he's in the next movie, I guarantee they're probably going to write this in because she got a lot of backlash from people that were like, well, if you feel this way and you think it's so damn important, why aren't you putting it in the goddamn movie?
Because that's not what she does. She talks out both sides of her mouth, trying to put backstory into where there's not. It's like, say, if Dr. Seuss comes, oh, by the way, the Grinch is gay. Okay, why didn't you write that in? Don't worry about it. He's just gay.
Well, could have been. I mean, he was a hermit. He lived on his own on the top of the mountain. He had a little dog with him. We don't know.
How many gay people do you know that's that miserable?
I'm sure there are a ton of just miserable gay people.
Even the name means happy.
Just like there's...
Even the gay means happy. You cannot be miserable if you're gay. It's that simple. It's genetic. It's science.
I don't think that's how science works.
Oh, please. All the scientists are unanimous behind this.
There is a consensus. I'm going to throw an ad break in here. We're going to skip over some topics just we went really long.
Yeah.
And then on the other end of this ad break, we're going to do a little conspiracy talk.
Love it. I've felt this for a while. I think this is true.
And we'll see you on the other side. I would like to take a moment to address a very serious topic. One that affects us every day of our life. Millions of children are growing up without single-player video games. Constantly playing Call of Duty and Fortnite, and now the new Battle Royale craze, Apex Legends. Let's end this scourge of terrible, monotonous online gameplay and support good single-player stories.
Now this next story, I saw this and it's like, I know it. Did I not tell you something was up with this woman before? It was like I was wrong from the angle, but I truly believe this is true.
Yeah,
it would make so much sense.
We're talking about everybody's favorite bartender turned government face, AOC. And originally you thought that she was a conservative.
She was a conservative.
And she was a troll. And her whole job
was to make the Democrats look crazy.
And just to tear them up from the inside.
Yes.
Which that would be a pretty incredible conspiracy theory.
Which, my God, that would be movie worthy. That would be just as history in the making if that was true.
Well, there's another conspiracy theory.
This was put out by a man named Mr. Reagan. He has a lot of compelling evidence. Now, my only suggestion is don't believe everything you hear, because the idea that this could be false is possible.
It could be you don't know.
But it would make so much sense. Pretty much what he's saying is she's an actress. She was hired to play a role by the Justice Democrats. Left, right, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican needs to watch this, because if this is true, if the Justice Democrats did this, which they say they're going to keep trying to do in other areas, I would be severely pissed off, because they are playing the Democrats hard.
Yeah, supposedly what they did is they had an open casting call out, and she was picked to run
because she has
in their spot, and
because she's good looking.
Yeah, and she's a puppet. Well, and she fits check boxes. She's a young Latina woman in New York, and she's attractive, and she just fits her check box. She's just a mouthpiece. She's a puppet politician, and they're put her out there, and she's just spitting out views that are fed.
They give her a script, and she follows that script. That's why whenever she goes off a script, if someone asks her something off a script, she, it's like, well, whatever. It's like, there's actually a video of her doing whatever for like 2.5 minutes in one interview because they kept asking her stuff off script.
Whenever you hear her speak, she sounds really stupid. Like she doesn't know what she's talking about.
If she goes off a script.
Like she's clearly only there to talk about the points that have been fed to her, and if you try to talk to her about anything else, she has no fucking clue.
Which would make sense if she's just an actor. She wouldn't know the details, the intricacies of the government and how shit works. It would make sense. There is this, I don't want to say tech guy, this tech developer, billionaire down in Texas, Houston, Texas, who funds her. That's where she gets all her fucking money from, this one guy. Who is in charge, I think, of the Justice Democrats.
And he's actually being investigated for campaign finance fraud.
Not the guy who boxed her, but her
advisor.
Her advisor.
Okay.
Which is a bad guy. But it's like it makes so much sense if she's an actress. Everything falls into place at that point.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can tell when somebody doesn't know what the hell they're talking about with something and they can't answer simple questions. Like if I ask you, something you clearly know a lot about, and like I ask you, what's your opinion on Back 4 Blood, the new game from Turtle Rock that they're developing? Because you're a big fan of Left 4 Dead. So you can talk to me
about Left 4 Dead
about Left 4 Dead,
yes.
And like, I'm looking forward to it. I like what they did with that. But then if I asked you, well, what do you think about Antonio Brown being traded to the Raiders?
Well, I think that everybody needs a chance to prove themselves, and that he has the right to go where he wants to, because I believe capitalism is the belief of capital, and
right, right. You know nothing about football, so you're
football. I thought it was basketball.
So you're not gonna pretend like you can't have an opinion on that. You can't say, well, obviously there was tension between him and Ben Roethlisberger on the field this season, and he was constantly complaining that he wasn't getting his fair shake on the field, and instead of him getting passes, they were getting thrown to Juju Smith all season, and there's a lot of tension in the locker room, and Ben was even throwing games because he wasn't happy with official calls. Like, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, if you follow football, you might know some of this stuff.
No, it's like
just like if she actually followed politics and knew what the fuck she was talking about, she should probably know how to answer some of these questions.
I've also noticed that since this video came out, there's been a decline in AOC news.
Yeah, whenever I'm flipping through my feed, I usually see a ton of her. Like, there's several articles every day written about something.
I haven't seen shit. I haven't heard anything about her lately, and it's been ever since this video came out. Like I said, if I was a liberal or if I was a Democrat and this came out to be true, I would be so pissed off.
And I'm curious if we'll ever know. Allegedly she's this puppet politician. She was an actress that was hired for a role. I mean, if this does come true, this is probably one of the biggest conspiracy theories of recent years. Obviously, there's bigger ones, whether it's JFK or the moon landing or whatever you want to
And then you have
talk about.
CARE putting in Muslims in different... Have you noticed that they always come in through the left and never try to do it through the right? I think it's simply because the right are just a little bit smarter, while the left, they let their beliefs and their feelings guide them, so they want to be inclusive. So it's like, we're going to vote for the first Muslim. Like, what's their policies? Oh, you're a racist now. What? I want to know the policies. You're not going to vote for the Muslim because they're Muslim? Islamophobic? Like, no, what the fuck do they stand for? Does it matter? Yes. In my opinion, if you vote based on sex, religion, or any other factor that does not relate to their policies and agendas, then you're voting wrong. The only thing that should matter is what they stand for, not what they look like, what they fuck, or what color their skin is. That shit is completely irrelevant.
With the exception of, we got to stop voting for people over the age of 55. Fuck old people. We need to stop putting old people in office.
We don't need to stop putting old people in office. We need to have term limits to keep old people from staying in Congress. There's no reason you're in Congress for 50 fucking years. None.
It is ridiculous.
You should have at most 10 years and get the fuck out. I completely, honestly, the term limits is one of the few things all Americans, except for maybe like 3% who are unsure. There's always like 3% who are unsure for some fucking, make up your goddamn mind. But there's pretty much every American supports term limits. Guess who don't support term limits?
The people in power?
The politicians.
Surprise, surprise.
Shocking.
All right, we're going to end with a fun story. Get away from the politics here.
I love this. This is fantastic. I want to believe him so hard. I speaking of hard,
you sent me this article from Vice I thought was hilarious.
It's fantastic.
This guy named David Huggins claims when he was 17 years old, he lost his virginity to an extraterrestrial.
Oh, not only that, but he's been fucking them for years. He says he's like fathered hundreds of alien hybrids.
And I haven't watched it yet, but apparently he says this in a documentary about himself called Love and Saucers, which that is such a good name.
Oh my God, that'd be a great TV series.
Love and Saucers. And he made this painting of him getting fucked by a gray, and it's weird looking because gray, I've never seen a gray with hair, but he painted it with hair. And it also has breasts, which I've never seen a female.
Scroll down farther, you can
gray.
see there's another picture that he did that actually, right there. Right
it's
there.
like a naked
gray. It's a naked woman with a gray head. That's
yeah,
pretty
but
much
the
it.
body's flesh, but the head is
gray.
Your typical gray with the big black eyes. And it's a human body. Why would an alien look like this?
Maybe it's a hybrid. So he's fucking a hybrid.
It could be. I mean, she's got some hangers there. I do have to say that. She's well endowed.
Yes.
As they say. And
this guy's living the dream. He has all these hundreds of alien kids and no responsibility to them.
I definitely have to watch this documentary just because the story is just so ridiculous. I mean, conspiracy theories in general are pretty ridiculous. And I do like alien stories or alien abduction stories, and there's not enough of them, in my opinion.
Are you kidding? This isn't just an alien documentary and story. This is potential porn. Are you kidding? I want Brazers to get on this shit.
I'm pretty sure.
I want Pornhub just to make a life story where it shows him getting fucked by aliens.
I'm pretty sure alien porn exists.
Yeah,
I can't imagine it doesn't.
But they got a new story to work with. It's like based on a true story. Come on, it's gold. You don't think that if we actually get out there, we find aliens, there's not going to be a whole bunch of humans who want to fuck these aliens?
I mean,
come
on, of course, especially if they're humanoid.
It doesn't fucking matter.
I don't know.
Humanoid?
If you're like squid aliens, you think?
Oh, there's a whole. It's called tentacle porn. Hello.
Yeah, true. There's a whole genre in Japan.
Come on, there. Fucking aliens will be the next big kink. If we find aliens and they're fuckable, doesn't even mean if they're fuckable. If they got a hole somewhere, we're going to try to fuck it.
The quote of the day: if there is a hole, we will fuck it.
We went from humans, trees, Earth. I mean, come on. There's a whole movement of eco. What do they call them? Eco. It's a bunch of people who fuck the Earth.
Like fuck holes in the earth.
They dig a hole and they fuck it. They fuck a tree. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like, I don't know, you heat up a cantaloupe or something. But
no, you should look it up. It's insane.
I don't want to look up people fucking the earth.
I've read news articles about these things. They're like this. These people will save the planet by trying to fuck it. It doesn't work that way.
So they keep the safe search on.
Constantly.
Jesus Christ.
Hell, if you Google My Little Pony, keep the safe search on.
Yeah, that is true.
I won't be able to let my little girls Google search My Little Pony nowadays. Can't do it. Won't let her.
But you're gonna let your fucking son grow into a brony, though, aren't you?
Fuck no. I don't mind furries. Bronies, on the other hand, no, nope. Sorry, not happening. I will break shit.
All right, well, we're coming to the end of this episode. Like I said, or in the top, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. You can email us at allegedtruthpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, come on, please leave a message.
With your worst.
Attack us. Please tell us how bad we are. Please tell us how wrong we are. We love it.
And also, if you want to actually say nice things, those if you don't want to be a troll, those are welcome too. But these are just our opinions. But you don't have to believe us.
Don't believe your eyes.
You shouldn't believe anything.
Stay cautious.
Stay weary.
And stay safe.
It's been the Alleged Truth Podcast, and we're out.